Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy Nissy coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. I wanted to go over the highly requested, highly demanded Hunxho vocal tutorial here that we got here today. So let's not waste no time. Let's get to listening to it. And the song is called 48 Laws of Power. So let's play it real quick and start dropping these gems, all right?
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that.
Okay, so you guys got an understanding of what we doing, but let's see how close we came to that boy Hunxho. Let's see how close we came. He's an artist. I think he's from Georgia. I really fuck with his style a lot. I think he's the same age as me too. He's 24, so that's dope. Shout out to him doing great things, you know, young dude. And let's just see how close I actually came to the real artist himself.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bond about a bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bond about a bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, rock out with the ones you started with. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about a bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14.
Okay, so you know that we got that bit sounding accurate, and if you guys are interested in this template, go ahead and check it out in the pinned comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, but also check out the Patreon where we drop them gems, exclusive live private group Patreon. Go ahead and check that out too. So, you know, with Hunxho, let's talk about, you know, his vocal sound. I really like his sound. You know, it's very, very distinguishing, actually. And with Hunxho's sound, you know, the very first thing is important is the auto-tune. His auto-tune is extremely, extremely, extremely aggressive, but you know, he's hitting the notes, which is what I always talk about. You got to hit the notes in the scale, and that will make the auto-tune sound smooth. It don't sound like I'm on 2 retune speed because I hit most of the notes. So listen to real quick.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about a bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit.
And it's more like a tonal thing with that type of auto-tune because it kind of has this like puffer fish type of like sound. He sound like he got a bucket of water inside of his mouth as he's like rapping a little bit, you know what I mean? So that's a very, very interesting trait that he has inside of his vocal. It kind of sounds like his vocals like bubbling a little bit, and that comes from the auto-tune. He kind of is like slurring a little bit, but that's his swag, that's his style. That's what makes him stand out as one of them, you know, them young up and coming artists right now. So let's actually look at what the vocal chain sounds like with and without. And oh yeah, we have some ad-libs here too. I just wanted to show the lead vocal, but let's just play it real quick, and I'm gonna bypass the preset.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never.
Okay, so let's go over this preset right now. You hear what it sounds like before and after, kind of like a boomy vocal. But the most important thing with Hunxho, I feel like he has like a lot of grit. You know, he's like one of them street rappers talking about you got to keep it real. He's talking about the laws of power and everything like that. So that's what I want with his voice. I want some sturdiness. I want some power to his vocal. You know, he's telling you the rules. You know, he's telling you the rules of the game, how you move. He's laying down the law. So that's what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about this vocal. And I use the SSLG channel on adding a lot of grit. You know, of course, you know, his voice being a little bit deeper. I got a little, you know, a little heavy-handed on a little bit of the low end, you know, kind of notching out more than what I usually do. And that's important to know. As you hear the rapper rapping in the studio, you got to pay attention to like what type of voice do they have. And that's going to already kind of be like your pre-planning, your prep to know, okay, how much processing am I going to do? Okay, am I going to start cutting the lows or the mids? And usually I kind of already do that by having the rapper rap the verse to me in the room, so I kind of know what it's supposed to sound like on the record. You feel me? Like trying to figure out how I can navigate his voice, because everybody has their own unique voice, and Hunxho's voice is pretty deep. So, you know, we got aggressive with the low end, aggressive with the mid range, really just tighten everything up, and using a lot of that, you know, a little bit of the dabble, a little sprinkle of the SSL, you know, compression as well to help give a little bit of grit, a little bit of mud. People be like, oh, the vocals sound muddy, they don't sound good, but you're stupid. You got to see it in a way where it's like you're trying to make shit more believable. If the man talking about the streets, what is the streets? Is the streets grimy, or is the streets a clean, you know, nice, friendly place where you can say, hey, Bob, how you doing, neighbor? Hell no, that's not what the streets is, bruh. That's not what the streets is, and that's why I'm saying music is all about life perspective. Because if you ain't know what the streets was really like, it's going to be low-key kind of hard for you to make it sound like the streets on the song, because you're not really from there. You don't know how to make it aesthetically sound like that. So let's look.
Rule 14, whack out with once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out with once you start a rig. Rule 15.
Using that SSL G channel to bring a lot of presence. That's coming from the compression. And after that, just really kind of doing that first level of tidying stuff up. After that, we have a de-esser. And of course, Rule 17, rock out with the one you started with. It sounds like he came up really close to the microphone. And of course, there's a lot of consonants. So we're really just kind of using two de-essers to make the job a little bit easier. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a situation where if we have a construction project, you know, two construction workers splitting up the work is going to be easier than letting one construction worker try to build a house all by himself. So using two de-essers and one in the beginning and the end. Let's look.
Rule 14, whack out with once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's Lindsay lit.
When it comes to de-essers, look for that part of the vocal where there's consonants, because you don't want your de-esser to be working when there's no consonants, you know, because sometimes other little breaths and stuff can get caught in the de-esser. You don't want that. That means your de-essing is maybe too aggressive. Maybe you might want to play around with the frequency a little bit and the threshold a little bit, be a little bit moderate. But I just like kind of looped Rule 17, right out with the one you started with. When you hear back-to-back consonants, that's kind of where you want to set your de-esser and like listen to it. Make sure it's smooth, because sometimes the release time of the de-essers, they be a little too slow. But you know, you're gonna have to figure that out. Every song is different, you know, every flow is different, every, you know, like the speed that Hunxho is kind of right out with the ones you started with. Some songs it might be faster, like cut shit, like it might be a little bit faster. So that's something to always be aware of. How often are the consonants coming? How often, you know, the speed of the rapper is rapping with his flow, saying those consonants words. So after that, we're using C4, using a little bit of multiband compression on Hunxho. I love this preset, pop vocal. It's just, I consistently keep using it because that's what it does. It gives you that mainstream sound, pop vocal. So that's what we kind of want, you know, just that really clean sound, but still muddy at the same time. It's still clean, but you still feel that grit from the streets. But if you have a predetermined mindset in your head that, oh, I gotta make my vocal sound clean all the time, I can't let no dirt on to get it. Oh, do you hear that weird mid-range resonance? Oh, I be seeing some people come in the comments and be trying to act like they got golden ears, like they got motherfucking, you know, like they got supersonic bat ears, 3000 Megatron. They can hear every goddamn thing in the mix. Stop capping. Sometimes the reason why you hear shit in a song is because you're making it up in your head. Your brain is playing tricks on you. Sometimes people say your eyes can play tricks on you, but your ears can play tricks on you too when you mix it. That's why you gotta go with it from your heart. You know what I mean? How does it feel? Sometimes you gotta go beyond the sound, because you might be like, damn, that nigga Nixon don't even sound like Hunxho. But really, when I put it right next to his vocal, then you really be like, okay, damn, it feels like it. That's the difference between hearing and feeling. I feel like these YouTubers, they never talked about that shit. The difference between hearing some shit and feeling some shit. And that's what I'm showing you, because if I play the vocal all by itself, it don't really sound like it. Of course, I got the same type of voice like him a little bit because I got a deep voice with an accent. but when I put it right next to the vocal, it feels just like Hunxho. And sometimes that's what making music is about. It's not how about it sounds. Don't trip about how it sounds. It doesn't have to sound perfectly fine. How does it feel? When you in a room with them other people, y'all vibing, y'all drinking, y'all smoking, you feel me? You in the studio, like the song gotta feel like what it sound like. You feel me? If it could sound great, but if it don't feel like the room, that shit don't mean nothing. You feel me? So let's bypass it in and out.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's lazy lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16,
it really just puts the vocal on an elevator and just lifts it up a little bit to the next floor in the mix, you know? So after that, we have the CLA 76 on blackface. I understand that the CLA 76 is very dirty, very nasty. And of course, I kind of wanted to pump a little bit because I know it's Hunxho. I want a little bit of artifacts. There's nothing wrong with using artifacts on hip hop music. Hip hop music is very generous to mistakes. I don't think people understand that. Like, hip hop is a very friendly genre for engineers. In the beginning, all you got to do is take a 2-track and a vocal and make this shit sound good. It's not like rock and roll and jazz where you gotta like mic shit up and you got other shit to worry about. That makes it way harder. So hip hop is a very engineer friendly genre. So to be complaining about hip hop saying that mixing is so hard, don't get down on it. Just enjoy the process. As long as you enjoy the process, you're gonna be good, because as long as you enjoy it and you playing around, maybe you might fuck around and make it sound good one day. But if you just say, oh, this is too hard and I quit. Oh, man, there's way more harder shit in life than this mixing shit, bro. For you to just be like, you quit, you gonna stop making music just because the shit got hard. There's some shit in life that's way harder. Having kids, paying bills, you know, doing all that. It's so much shit in life that's way harder than mixing. And it's like, you damn well know not to quit on that shit because you know what's going to happen. So don't quit on this music shit. No matter how hard it gets, keep watching the videos, you know, cop the templates. The templates make it real easy for y'all. And, you know, just enjoy the process. As long as you enjoy the process, it's going to feel like you ain't even doing anything. It's going to feel like if you enjoy being at the gym and lifting weights, it don't feel like, oh, I got to go to the gym and lift weights. It just feels like you having fun. So it makes things go by quicker. You're going to get a lot better, a lot faster, and see more results. So let me play that with and without.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's lazy lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no.
And I'm using kind of like those output transformers from the 76 to give me a little bit of that dirtiness, that warmth as well. Mid-range presence. After that, we have the Kramer tape, using the tape to de-ess. So, you know, 15 IPS Vox de-esser, that's my preset that I'm using right here. And of course, the bias is normal. I know with under biasing, it can make things brighter, and with over biasing, it makes things darker. So, you know, with Hunxho's vocal, I wasn't hitting the tape too hard. I just want a little bit of that crunch, a little bit of that grit. I want a little bit of that fried chicken, you know, kind of grease, that fried chicken edge on that chicken, a little bit of roughness to the vocal, because they don't gotta sound perfect. He rapping by the streets. You think every day in the streets shit is just perfect, them boys just getting money? No, sometimes shit start happening. So you gotta make the music sound like that, because it's like, whoa, like he talking about rule 15, rule 17, when I was doing this, when I was doing that. Now it's like he telling a story by the campfire. Now it's not just a song. Now it's Hunxho really rapping by his life. So that's the thing you gotta do as an engineer, because if you over here trying to make the song feel like something that is not, it won't resonate with people. And that's important. They gotta resonate with people in their heart. They got like, damn, rule 15, right, rule 17, like, damn, like niggas is knowing the rules. It's like Hunxho schooling them boys when he talking about all these rules, you feel me, about life and all that stuff like that. So that's what the you know, the tape is doing. You know, the tape is just adding a little bit of edge, a little bit of them burnt ends, you know, a little bit of a roughness, a little bit of harshness to it, but also adding a little bit of brightness.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's lazy lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care.
Okay, so you guys get the idea of that. After that, we had a REQ coming in with Hunxho's vocal. You know, knowing that he got a deep voice, I'm attacking that mid-range. You know, I'm picking on that mid-range specifically. I'm trying to bully that little low mid because I don't want his vocal to sound a little bit too mucky or anything like that. Because of course, as I'm compressing, as I'm squeezing the vocal with all this compression and multiband, it's gonna start to bring up some of those parts that I might not want. So I have an EQ right here, just rolling off some of that low end even more, and just rolling off a little bit more of that mid-range.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a read. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's lazy lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a.
And of course, using this filter, not necessarily to cut off mud, but more for like the positioning. You hear when the EQ comes back, the vocal steps back a little bit. The vocal says, "Oh, excuse me. Let me sit back in this 2-track beat," and that's coming from the actual filtering that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So there's different ways to level something, like the volume, then there's the frequency, then there's the dynamics. Maybe do a little fast attack compression and you set it back a little bit. Different ways to do it. Also, RVox coming in here, it just gives a little bit of that Bubby the Blue Whale type of girth to the vocal for Hunxho, which is important because you want it to feel like it's big, like it's a cathedral. Rule 15, Rule 17, Rule 19, like he's preaching. He's like Moses with them stone tablets, banging them together and just letting you know what it is, and this is a great plugin to get upfront vocals.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a read. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's lazy lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a read. Rule 15, never.
And I love the RVox. I would say that the RVox, to me personally, is like the CL1B alternative. If you can't afford the CL1B, I would get the RVox, because the RVox, as the body kind of a tube, it's also smooth, kind of like an optical compressor. It's a very interesting plugin, but it has like this nice brightness to it that I just love. After that, we have Fresh Air doing what it's doing, pumping a little bit of air into the vocal, a little bit of brightness. But Hunxho's voice is kind of deep. His voice is deep, and I know that I want to actually depend on the echoes and the delay. If you hear the rules the song, he has like this crazy bright echo. So because I understand that the brightness is relative, it's a situation where you got to think about the sun, right? In mixing, everything is relative. It's like the relationship between everything, how everything working, right? For example, at nighttime, right? The sun, right? At nighttime, during the afternoon, right? Even though the sun isn't as bright in the afternoon, like around 5 o'clock, as it is in the day, you'll still be like, damn, the sun is still bright though, because everything around, like everything else, like the traffic lights, the streets, the trees, everything is darker in comparison. So the sun is still bright because everything else got darker. You know what I mean? So it's a situation like that too, where everything is relative. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna make this vocal super fucking bright because I know Hunxho got this bright ass reverb and this bright ass delay that's also giving the perception of more brightness, kind of like the sun in the daytime. It's super bright because everything else is bright around it. You know what I mean? But even though at nighttime, right? At nighttime, bitch, just because you don't see the sun, that doesn't mean the sun just disappeared and it don't exist. No, that bitch still exists. It's just that everything is just dark compared to where the sun is at that time. So you know what I mean? Everything is relative, the positioning. Where is shit at? Kind of like the earth in the solar system with the sun and shit like that. So that's an easy ass way to explain that. And no, the earth is not flat, bitch. So let's listen to it with or without.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you start a read. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause a bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's lazy lit. Rule 17.
Okay, so you guys got the idea of that. And then another de-esser, we already know what that's doing. Important for Hunxho, his delay sound on this song, like it was a really aggressive delay, very unique for his style, right? And with this delay, we had an REQ rolling off the lows, but then pushing kind of like this mid-range frequency right here to give a little bit more articulation, so you can really hear everything kind of coming from that slack back delay. Then I had a crazy aggressive auto tune on his slap delay. Then I had an H delay, of course, and it was a very different timing. I usually use like a half note, a quarter, eighth, but it sounds like Hunxho definitely fucking used a 1/32, like a very quick delay. So the more you go to like 164 and all that stuff, it gets faster. The more you go to like 1.5, 1 and 8, it gets slower. You know what I mean? So just remember it like that. And I used the doubler after that to widen Hunxho's slap delay. But this slap delay, that made the goddamn song.
Rule 14, whack out with once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause the bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga as lazy lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell. It don't matter if you ain't do it, I don't care. Rule 8, Rule 14, whack out with once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause the bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga as lazy lit. Rule
So you guys get the understanding of that. After that, we had 2 reverbs. The first one being a tiled room, and Hunxho's his sound he sound like he got a weird room resonance inside his music. It's not a resonance, but more like a room tone, and I really like that about his vocal. Really kind of pushes that low mid even more, gets his vocal even more power. You know what I mean? And more grit and more fullness and up forwardness, but at the same time being clean. So sometimes you could be aggressive on how you cut in the low end, but then you're using stuff like reverb and delay to kind of bring back a little bit of that sticky bubble gum type of sound to the vocal, you know, that glues it together. So pay attention. The hall has a reverb, you know, it has there's a reverb after a reverb, and the hall is reacting to the plate or reacting to the room, which is in front of it. And then after that, we have a little bit of pre-delay, and it kind of helps add a little bit of dimension. So the room reverb has no pre-delay on it, so it works instantly, but then the hall is after it, and it has like a little delay before the hall reacts to the room that's in front of it. So it's really good because that's how you can create depth in your mixes. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a space within a space. It's kind of like one of those little, you know those Chinese cat toys that there's like a big cat and a little cat and another cat in it, another cat, and that's kind of what I want to do with my mixes. You know, I want to have the lead vocal be big. It's like the big cat, but then when you open it up a little bit, then you have like the reverb, and then there's another reverb inside that reverb, and then there's like a delay or something like that, or a doubler. These things add dimension, you know?
Rule 14, whack out with once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause the bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga as lazy lit. Rule 17, never tell you in that cell.
And then after that, we have an R comp side chaining, nothing crazy. We have a doubler right here. We already know about that, nothing special. And then for the parallel compression, a CLA 76 on all buttons in mode. And of course, you know, if you have a situation where you want to boost the consonants, you want to boost the sliding surfer wave transitions in between the rapper, Rule 17, rock out with the ones you started with, Rule 16. I usually go to something like an 1176 on all buttons in mode, because that's what it does. It boosts the nuances. You know, it kind of starts to help be a situation where if you have a rapper who's spitting about their life, spitting that dope shit, spitting that shit that damn them people gotta hear it, you might want to use something like this because it boosts the nuances, all the little gusts of air and those little imperfections start to get squeezed and blended back in to the original vocal, which is super clean. So now you can start to hear more articulation. So that's pretty important in making music. Some people will be like, you gotta get rid of all the mud, you gotta get rid of all the breaths and all the consonants. But okay, then you're gonna have an AI chat GPT style vocal. Ain't nobody gonna relate to that. It don't matter how good it sounds, it matter how good it feels. This song felt really good, you know. Hunxho snapped on this shit. So let's look at the ad-libs real fast before we get out of here. And with the ad-libs, nothing crazy, you know. We're not gonna waste no time on them ad-libs because we know what it is, you know, just really aggressive on the mid-range and the low end, kind of cleaning things up. After that, we had an R-Vox, you know, with a really aggressive gate, only just letting a little bit of the ad-lib come through.
Rule 14, whack out with once you start a rig. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause the bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga as lazy lit.
And that's what the R-Vox is doing. It's the gating is actually kind of changing the way the ad-lib is talking. Now you kind of heard how I made that little voice and you associate it with like being cramped and claustrophobic in a small area. By the time the fucking ad-lib came in with that gate, what it sounded like. It sounded just like the idea I presented to you in real life. And that's what you got to do. That's your responsibility as an engineer. The rapper says, okay, I got this idea, fam. I want to make them feel like when I was going through this shit and woo and all that, you feel me? I had to, you want to take the idea that somebody presents you and put it into a song. But in order for you to do that, you need to understand the tools that you're using. If you don't understand the tools, you'll probably never be able to do it. You know, you'll never be able to get the idea, the message, you know, the deeper meaning of the song behind it. Hunxho telling you about them rules, fam. It's rules to this game of life. It's certain shit you don't do. It's certain shit you don't violate, respect, honor. You feel me? That's what he rap about. That's why I had to do this song. I ain't had no choice. You feel me?
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you started with. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause the bitch can't wait to fucking.
Using the SSLG channel, you know, of course, I'm cutting out the lows and cutting out the mid, and it just really helps everything sit back into the mix a little bit better. After that, another CLA 76, giving me some more dirt, some more grime, some more nastiness, some more sloppiness to the ad-lib.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you started with. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause.
So it's different ways to use the compressor. Last time I used it on parallel. I used the compressor 3 different ways on this song. Pay attention, the lead vocal, I used it just to kind of, you know, give a little bit of that movement, a little bit of that grit. Here on the ad-libs, I'm not even compressing. I'm using it as a saturator just to give a little bit of tone, to give a little bit of muck, a little bit of, you know, kind of that nasty ketchup stain on that white shirt, that honey mustard stain on that shirt. You feel me? To taint it. I'm trying to taint the ad-libs a little bit. You know, and you know, I'm using it as a saturator. Then I used it parallel, and I used it to boost the nuances. So there's more than one way to use these tools that you have. So don't be trying to chase every little new plugin that come out, because you might already have everything you need to blow up. And the fact that you're complaining about the tools that you have is what's really holding you back, and not the tools itself. Parallel compression on the ad-libs, and of course we had a nice little flanger going in parallel.
Rule 14, whack out wisdom once you started with. Rule 15, never fall out by no argument. Rule 16, never break your bone about the bitch, cause the bitch can't wait to fuck another nigga's lazy lit. Rule 17, never tell.
And it really kind of gives a little bit more dimension. So this is the end of the video here for today. If you guys want to get this Hunxho template, you're going to find it in the pinned comment down below. You're going to get the vocal preset, the ad-lib preset, the beat leveler, and a mastering preset. And I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the private Patreon group as well. And I appreciate you guys for watching this now. Peace.